Media Watch. I'm joined by Nicholas Rushworth. Hello, Nick. We're going to start by looking at what the media has to say on events in Brazil, where there have been, of course, major protests, as we've been saying.
Hi to you, Tom, and hi to everybody. I'm going to start out with this cartoon there of Christ the Redeemer on top of the mountain overlooking Rio de Janeiro. There you can see it on screen. And that you can see the Christ the Redeemer has actually been modified to become a protester. There at the bottom of the statue, you can see what we've heard, million protesters in Brazil, and a placard, the Christ is at it, with them carrying a placard. Now, the main hashtag for the protest in Brazil is hashtag Change Brazil. This is one I chose out of many, and the message there being, Dear Brazilians, let's get our act together, because if we stand for nothing, we'll fall for anything. That's over to you, Tom.
Well, it was interesting, actually, that placard was blank, so I was just wondering in that cartoon exactly what the message was. But on Thursday, we heard about professional football players lending their voice to the debate, and amongst them has been Pele.
Well, we heard that several players in the national squad, for example, Dani Alves and Luis David, were putting their support very firmly with them, with the protesters. Pele, earlier in the week, there we can just see his Twitter page, but earlier in the week, he actually said, no, you protesters have got to come off the streets. This is not good for Brazil. He has now backtracked big time. There we can just go to his tweet page. And on his tweet page, he's saying, no, I give you 100% support. There you can see the tweet there. So uncategorical support from what is the greatest player of all time, of course. There are celebrity support for the protesters. We've seen a T-shirt movement. There you have none other than Mark Zuckerberg saying it's not about the 20 cents. And against that, again, that hashtag Change Brazil. Other celebrities include Lady Gaga. There we can see Lady Gaga, Beyonce, and Katy Perry, and so on. So there is a kind of appeal about Brazilians really getting out for their support internationally. They're generating a lot of support.
Okay, well, I wonder whether they'll be pleased to know Lady Gaga is standing side by side with them. Now, let's go to another story, which is about Angela Merkel. You've picked this up because she made a remark earlier in the week, just before Barack Obama paid her a visit. But what's all this about?
Well, she made a remark that we've obviously been hearing a lot about the PRISM scandal and the whole surveillance issue, the extent of US surveillance. And so she made a comment, which was fairly offhand one, in which she said that the internet, after all, was uncharted territory. And there you can see Der Spiegel's headline, Merkel mocked for calling the internet Neuland, so the new land, uncharted territory. That story is being picked up too by the magazine online called Foreign Policy, and it's inspired lots of memes. So that's people taking the mickey out of her about this. And we can just go to a couple. Here's one showing her actually coming to the new land, landing, discovering internet online. There you can see a picture of it. I like this one too, in which she is portrayed arriving in new land and a big cat stares in and says, go home.
It's a bit like Lilliput.
Well, yeah. I thought that was very good because when you do look online to all these websites that I go to all the time, there are cat stories galore. So the cats get their revenge there.
It's funny how cats manage to creep into all this humour. Anyway, we're going to end with a story that you've picked up from the United Kingdom.
Well, this is a story that has gone viral. It's about a guy who's an NHS boss in the north of England in Yorkshire. There we can see the newspaper, the Yorkshire Post, and he dressed up as Superman to dance through the corridors. We can look at the video of him doing that. And basically his goal was to promote chair exercises. And of course, his goal was very innocent and playful. We can just watch that for a moment. It's very fun.
When the day is dawning on a Texas Sunday morning.
I wonder what people in the UK think about a man in the National Health Service in a time of austerity who's paid £175,000, that's about 200,000 euros, prancing around like Superman.
They hated it. There was a big backlash and he got into big trouble. And he says, I was only doing it for a good cause. Chair exercises. We need health in the office.
All right. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. That was Media Watch. Do stay tuned to France 24. I'll have some business news in just a moment.